Yes, guys, welcome back to your second Australian soccer video. Today, this morning, wherever you are, evening, afternoon, we are going to be doing my early, well, you can call this extremely early, but my early A-League predictions going into the 25-26 season. As the Melbourne City look to defend their title. And as you'll be able to see in this A-League predictions video, I've done a few shocks. Like for always in the A-League, I do think that Western United will fall off again. I do think we will see one or two shocks, what you may not expect. And we will be including Western United as their position has not been confirmed, has been kicked out or kept in. So we're going to keep them in. And then in my next A-League prediction video, West Ham might change because of further transfers. I will make sure to post an updated one with my updated thoughts and what I think teams could go into the season and how they could be finishing the season. But let's get right into this. 13th, Perth Glory. Do I need to say anything? Do I need to write the whole paragraph? Do I need to write a story? Do I need to tell you guys in 10 minutes what I think Perth Glory are going to finish bottom? Shouldn't have to. It should be a written law at this point. Perth Glory must concede too many goals and not win enough games. In the last 5 games, they've only lost. They've only won 2 out of the last 5 in the A-League. Obviously, I'll have to check their A-League stand, the Australian Cup result. But we're looking at the last 5 league games because it would only make sense. And obviously, when it comes to Perth Glory, last season, they conceded 56 goals and only scored 22. They got 17 points, which means that they accumulated 4 wins and 5 draws. That's not good enough. So yeah, I do think Perth Glory are going to finish bottom. Write it in the law book. Write it in the final table results at the end of the season. I think I'm nailing this bang on. Please shock me though, Perth Glory, please. I mean, look, it's just logistics. Next, 12th. I've gone for Wellington Phoenix. Now, Wellington Phoenix last season had a dreadful season. In the Australian Cup, they did get knocked out 4-0 by Heidelberg. They need players in fast before the deadline. Same with Perth Glory, but I do feel like Wellington Phoenix needs to get back up there. And I do think Wellington Phoenix has a good chance this season of going. We could either fight for top 6, but there's also a very good chance that they go and struggle, and I do think they're going to struggle again. Not the past 5 league games. Last season they obviously finished 11th, but the past 5 games, 4 losses, 1 win. Include that with the loss against Heidelberg. Yeah, I do honestly think Wellington Phoenix has another dreadful season. I do think they finished 12th. And no, I wasn't just counting league form. I was also counting goals conceded and scored last season. And in fact, if we actually go to that, because I didn't even mention that yet, they conceded 43, scored 27, won 6, drew 6, lost 14. So yeah, I do think Wellington Phoenix finishes 12th this season. I do not think they're going to improve. In 11th, I've gone for a back down to earth Western United, assuming that they are still in the A-League going into the 25-26 season. I do think that Western United will come back down to earth. Last season they had an amazing season. My only concern is, can they keep it up? And also, because of the financial constraints, they might be forced to sell players. And that's obviously going to help with them keeping their license, which is the whole reason why they could be kicked out, which is also due to financial constraints. So I do think that Western United will not finish last. I don't think they'll be the worst in the A-League. But I do think that 11th is quite a realistic finish. But if they didn't have these financial constraints, if they didn't have licensing issues in the A-League, then I don't think this would be where I'd put them. But yeah, prove me wrong. No point going into... Actually, no, let's do last 5 games, even though it doesn't really matter for league standards. Even though that they actually did lose 2 of their last 5, but I still think they will not finish high this season. In 10th, I've gone with Central Coast Mariners. I forgot why I even put them there. I guess it's just because I'm going off the fact that last season they finished 10th, and I think it's just going to be a stalemate position for them. They were nowhere near the bottom. The last 5, they won 1, lost 3, drew 1. Not good form. And I do think that Central Coast Mariners won't really... They might improve in terms of goals scored and conceded. Last season, they scored 29 and conceded 51. So, yeah, I do think they'll just be 10th again. They got knocked out of the Australian Cup early as well. So, yeah, I'm very confident with that prediction. In 9th, I've gone with MacArthur. Once again, MacArthur made it to the quarters. I don't know if they've actually progressed. In fact, I can check that real quick. Because I feel like it would be... Yeah, so Newcastle Jets went through to the Australian Cup semi-finals, but back to the table. So yeah, MacArthur got knocked out today, but my reason for them finishing 9th is because I still think that they're the type of team, right? They've actually scored more than they've conceded, but because of the goals conceded, it's not really helped them. They scored 50, conceded 45. Look, I'm going to say this now. If they can fix up their defence, right? If they can get a goalkeeper, maybe a centre-back or 2, maybe a full-back, who can defend, I actually think they could get top 6. But I'm basing it off the fact that if they don't do that, then they're going to finish 9th. Now, I was debating them between 9th, 8th or 7th, but 9th is where I'm putting them for now. But obviously, after transfer window, you're getting an updated one, so I might be higher by then. The last 5 games, 2 draws, 2 losses, 1 win. Yeah. Conceded 45, scored 50. In 8, Western Sydney Wanderers. Them being knocked out by Heidelberg really didn't help their chance of getting top 6 for me. I mean, look, you can't actually use that as an excuse, actually. But yeah, again, Wellington finish kind of sucks. Last season, Western Sydney Wanderers finished 4th, but like I say, the A-League can offer surprises, and I think this is going to be one of many surprises this season. I think Western Sydney Wanderers do not get top 6, sorry, and I think they're going to bottle it 8th. They scored 58, conceded 40. Their last 5 A-League games, 2 draws, 3 wins, but I do think they are going to drop off next season. Next, in 7th, I've gone with Auckland FC. Once again, come back down to earth moment. They just lost Alex Paulson to Bournemouth on a permanent. He was on loan last season. And that's a really good goalkeeper. Gone. And the goalkeeper is a very crucial part if you want to win any sort of A-League trophy at Australian Cup. The goalkeeper is important. Do I think Wood, I'm just going to call him Wood, is good enough to win the A-League? Possibly. Because I know that the Australian League doesn't really have the best level goalkeepers. But it's just a massive downgrade from what they had. And there was nothing wrong with their form last season, actually. They are in the semi-finals of the Australian Cup. They drew 2, won 2, lost 1, conceded only 27, scored 49, sorry. But that's because of their goalkeeper. And I think without their goalkeeper, they could have conceded a lot more. They do have defenders like Pineackers and Sakai. And they do have good level defenders, which, sure, could keep them in that top 6 area, but I think they won't get top 6 this season, at the moment. In 6th, I've gone with Adelaide United. Adelaide United, last season, finished 7th. If they won their 2 games, what they lost in their last 5, they would have made top 6, guys. In terms of goals scored and goals conceded, they scored 53, conceded 55. Once again, never mind, they did make top 6. What am I saying? But yeah, they did make top 6 last season. But yeah, in terms of goals scored and conceded, they scored 53, conceded 55. Defensive issues. If you want to go and win the A-League, you need to get defenders. Good defenders and a decent level goalkeeper. Or a good level goalkeeper for the A-League itself. I think they get 6th again. That's standard. In 5th, I've gone with Sydney FC. Last season they finished 7th by 1 point. Once again, if they turned one of their draws into a win, then Adelaide United would have been kicked out of the top 6, sorry. So very lucky by Adelaide. But yeah, last season they actually only conceded 46, scored 53, 110, drew 7. So yeah, really unfortunate. But I think they'll get top 6 this season. I think they'll be a lot stronger going into this season, and 5th is fine, I think, for them. Unfortunate to have missed out. I think if they didn't really mess up last season with one of their games like a draw or one of their losses, they would have been in that top 6. Which is crazy to think about. Newcastle Jets in 4th. I've gone with this because of, like I said, the surprises the A-League can offer. And I do genuinely think Newcastle Jets, has a very solid chance of getting top 6 this season, and then get brought back down to for 26-27. Last season we finished 9th. Yes, we only won 1 of their last 5, but they've only conceded 1 more than they scored, and if they can work on their goal scoring, then I actually think there's a chance, and also their defending, of course, but mainly their goal scoring, and I actually think there's a chance that they go and get top 6. They were 8 points off, but that's easy to overturn, especially in the new season where everything's back at 0. Third, Melbourne victory. Default top 6. This is just default. Last season we finished 5th, conceded 36, won 44. In their last 5 games in the A-League, of course, they only lost 1 out of the last 5, with 1 draw, 3 wins. Scored 44, conceded 36. So, I think they get top 6 again. I think they get 3rd. And I think they'll have another good season for their standards. In second, I've gone with Brisbane Roar. Once again, another shock result. We've seen Auckland FC just come up to the A-League after being added to the league. Get first. We've just seen Western United, second season in the A-League, get second. Get 3rd. Brisbane Roar, I think they get top 2. Based on early predictions and just surprises being a thing with the league. Last season, yes, they did finish 12th. And yes, it would be a massive prediction to do this. But who says they can't? 51 goals conceded, 32 goals scored, but they only lost 1 of their last 5, and that gives me like the smallest bit of hope. Yeah, Brisbane Roar second, and then first, Melbourne City. Very good season last season. They did win the toilet trophy, as I call it, as many people call it. And in the last 5, they're unbeaten with 2 draws, 3 wins. They've only conceded, they have the best defensive record. And they scored 41. So, very good looks for Melbourne City going into this season. And I do think that Melbourne City will get first. I do think they will win the whole A-League. As well. In terms of the grand finals, the semis, I think they win it all. So, that's my predictions. If you guys did and enjoy this, like, subscribe, turn on post notification, let me know your A-League predictions down in the comments. And guess what, guys? We'll see you later tonight for another banger. Peace!